I put myself first this summer. I said no to several things, and I even took a few days off from work just for me. And of course, I felt guilty sometimes. Here's the part nobody tells you. I've been doing this healing work for years, and still I feel guilt almost every single time I choose myself. So if you've been wanting to put yourself first until it finally stops feeling wrong, I have to be honest with you. That day might not come, but it's not the problem that you think it is. Let me show you what I do anyway. I'm Jody Lamb, and I grew up as the responsible one. You know, the fixer, the one who took care of everybody else. I'm actually writing a memoir about it, and I make videos every week about what I've learned along the way in my healing journey, in my journey to create a great life. So here's the honest picture. I finally sit down to rest, or I say no to something that I don't have the energy for, or I do one small thing purely because I want to, and almost instantly there's this voice that shows up like, you're being selfish, so-and-so needs you, or you should be doing something productive right now. And it's not just a thought, it's like a physical reaction. There's this tightness, this like itch to get up from the couch when you're watching TV and go fix something, go clean something, go be useful. Go earn my place again. Most of my life, my guilt was so loud that I would just give into it. I'd abandon whatever I was doing for myself and go take care of something for someone else, and then the guilt would quiet down. Because giving in is what would make the guilt stop in the short term. And for the long term, every time that guilt showed up, I took it as proof that I was doing something wrong, or proof that I was failing at this healing process that I was supposedly doing. And I felt like if I was feeling this guilty, that I just couldn't figure it out. And then something important shifted for me. And it's the whole reason I'm making this video for you. I realized the guilt was probably never going to be disappearing for me. So I was asking myself the wrong question. I shouldn't have been asking, how do I stop feeling guilty when I put myself first? Because the real question is, what do I do when I still feel those feelings? Because you can put yourself first and feel guilty at the same time. Those two things can happen at the same time in the same afternoon, and the guilt doesn't get a veto. You can still take good care of yourself. You can still put yourself first, even when you feel guilty. So here's what I actually do. There's three main things. One, I do it with the guilt, not after it. I stopped waiting for that guilt to go away or to give me permission, because it never will. It's not a gatekeeper that I have to get past. So now I rest, or I say no, and I just let that guilt come along for the ride. I don't wait for it to leave first. I've learned that I can feel guilty and just move past it and just focus on the present and what I'm doing in the moment and still do the thing. That realization changed everything. I know I must prioritize myself, because that is the only way that I can take good care of myself, which is my only job in life. Two, I call the guilt what it actually is. When it shows up, I literally say to myself, yep, that is the old wiring. That is not a fact. That's just old me. Because that voice isn't wisdom. It isn't some moral compass. It is a habit that I learned, I developed a long time ago, back when putting myself first genuinely wasn't allowed. I literally couldn't, based on the environment that I was in as a child and a young person. That guilt is just my old programming running on autopilot. But naming it this way gives me this tiny bit of distance, enough to ignore it, to not obey it. Three, I do the smallest version and let the guilt be super loud. I don't wait to feel ready, like wait for the perfect time to feel like I deserve a whole PTO day, a whole day off from work where I literally just do nothing. I take the 15 minutes, I say the no, I take that PTO day, and I think about it, and I let the guilt be as loud as it wants to be while I do it. And here's what I found. I'm fine. I survive it. And the next time that voice is a little bit quieter, because every time you put yourself first and nothing terrible happens, it's evidence. Like, hey, I did that and everything stayed afloat. Everything went on as it does at work. Everyone was fine in my family. I'm safe when I take good care of myself and I put myself first. That is proof like stacking up and building a new habit. I am so grateful that now I understand really the most important lesson in life. Your primary job is to take good care of yourself. You are allowed to do that before the guilt signs off on it. You don't need permission from a feeling that was trained and embedded into you when you were little, when you had to be small. So if you're like me and you feel guilty every time you choose yourself, that guilt is not proof you are doing something wrong. It is proof you were taught somewhere along the way that you were supposed to come last. It's an old rule. It's not the verdict on the new one. You're not selfish. You're not failing at this. You're like me. You're someone who learned to put everyone else first so well that now doing the opposite of that sets off an alarm. And the alarm going off doesn't mean stop. It's just a reminder that you're doing something new and you have to train your body and your programming to handle that. So do it guilty, do it scared, do it while the voice is still talking, do it anyway. It is doing things that make you feel uncomfortable, that trains your mind, trains your body. That is the work, not silencing the guilt, but choosing yourself right alongside it. And if you want a place to start choosing yourself, the actual first steps, not just a nice idea, but the first steps that will help you start taking good care of yourself, start putting yourself first. I made a free guide and it's called The Blueprint You Never Got. And it's everything that I did to start taking care of myself when no one taught me how, and when honestly it still felt extremely uncomfortable. It's free and it's linked in the description of this video, so go grab it. And if this landed, please subscribe. I produce a new video every week. And watch this one next, the 5 things I did to start feeling lighter. These are the first steps that really helped start my healing path and create a life I love. I'll see you over there.